Well, this is Bill Cook, and we're in another one of our great podcasts, A Little Piece of Heaven, down here on Junction T and 7. And and we have this great debate on how far it is, but it's from somewhere to 4 to 6 miles off of 71 Highway or 49 on the way to Clinton, Missouri, on that beautiful path of 7 Highway. So we kind of connect 7 Highway with 13, and there's a lot of agriculture, lots of farms, lots of opportunities. And we just want to, today we have a real special guest. We're going to be talking with Diane Whitworth. And Diane, she's one of our really driving forces in our area, and we work really close with her in lots of things in schools and so on. But Diane, why don't you just tell us a little bit about what you're doing and your foundation and all the cool things that you've done so far?
I'd be happy to, and thank you, Bill, for inviting me to talk to you today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, usually never at a loss for words, so you may have to kind of cut me off when it's time when my time is up. But primarily, one of the things that our family did after the death of our son is we decided that we would turn our grief into doing something positive
Sure.
to help keep his memory alive. And so what we found out about Blaine that we should have known growing up, but we didn't even know what the term meant, was that he was an entrepreneur.
Amen.
And so he all three of our sons went to Tyler, Blaine, and Tucker. Both all went to Sherwood. They all graduated from there, and then they also all went to UCM and graduated from there with a degree in safety. And so they both, all three of them, also ended up going out working on oil rigs as safety managers and traveling around the world. But Blaine was the one that was just wanted to do something different, and he came back and decided to open a bar in Warrensburg called Bodie's. Had been around for many, many
Mhm.
years, and so that was his project. And so what we learned from during that whole process was that he was an entrepreneur. He wanted to be entrepreneurs want to be their own boss. They
Yeah,
don't
and,
work.
and there's so many stories about him. Of course, I love the story when he was in in high school, when you were well on the board. I guess you were on
School
the
board.
school board. So he was always one of those guys that was he was doing his own thing.
He was our challenge
He
child.
yeah. And but everybody he had a personality out of this world. Yeah,
Yeah, he was very outgoing, very very gregarious, and but he just wanted to, as things that we found over the years, that he had left a note for his grandmother that he wanted in his thank you note from his high school graduation present. It was like, I want to do good things, I want to do big things, and so we say that he had a big heart and big dreams, and
hmm
he was doing good, and he loved Warrensburg so much that that's why he wanted to go back to that community. And he was just on top of the world because he was, he had his he opened his bar on September 1st, 2011, and he was working with downtown Warrensburg, the police department, UCM, and Whiteman Air Force Base, and trying to make the downtown entertainment a safe and place where parents, when they
sure,
came to look at
sure,
Warrensburg for their
sure,
kids to go, they would feel good about and safe
sure.
about it being there. So anyway, when he was tragically taken from us, we decided that we wanted to continue that. And some of his friends had approached us and offered. They said we want to do a 5K because he actually, at the time of his death, he had opened a second establishment called Molly's,
hmm
named after his grandmother
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he
your
adored.
mom. Yeah.
And so they said because he was always running back and forth between both
Mm.
places, and so they wanted to do a 5K. So we did that actually just with a small group of people, but we started doing 5Ks. Our first one was in 2013, and we did that up till 2020. But COVID kind of brought that. It was a year of COVID, and so we decided that the 5K wasn't going to probably do well in the future because we didn't know what the future was going to bring.
Sure, sure,
But golf tournaments were thriving and people were
sure,
still playing golf
sure.
during COVID. So we switched in 2022 to do a golf tournament. We did our first golf tournament, and it's been very successful. We hold that every year, and so doing that, we're able to in establishing our foundation was established in 2015 as an official 501c3.
Well, and then on your foundation, and of course, this is where we kind of hooked up here in the last year or so. Um, I think first was when you came and said, "Hey, listen, we're going to do something with Sherwood," and you were looking to put some things together with the seniors or Sherwood. So that's kind of where we kind of started talking again. And then I love what you have on your foundation, all the things you do. You might share that. I mean, it's really, really inspiring.
Yeah, our basically what we our goal of the foundation, our motto is the Blaine Whitworth Go Big or Go Home Foundation is making a difference in the community because that's really what he wanted to
Yeah.
do.
And I love the terminology, go big
Or
or
go
go
home.
home.
And that was
Yeah.
he had it
Yeah.
on his T-shirts and his staff. And
Right.
one of the things that he also had a T-shirt that his staff members wore was I'm a pretty big deal. That was always tickled me that. But we established obviously when you have a 501c3 as an official nonprofit, you have to have a mission and you have
Sure.
to have goals of
Sure.
what the tenets of where you want
Sure.
your funds to go that you're raising. And so our first was we decided to enable aspiring entrepreneurs to be able to reach their dreams.
Hmm.
And so we worked very closely with UCM, and back we started that in about 2013. I think 2014, I believe, was the first. We were doing bringing in guest speakers to talk to. We found out that you can actually get a Bachelor of Science degree in entrepreneurship and social enterprises from UCM,
Wow.
which is a
No, I didn't know that.
yeah, that's
That's
a
I didn't know
yeah,
that. Yeah.
fabulous degree. And so we started bringing in guest speakers from that were very successful. We had the gentleman that owns the rotisserie. We had the owner of Hellsberg Jewelers. I mean, a lot of big
Sure.
names. A
Sure.
lot of them were from the Kauffman Foundation in Kansas City that were involved with them. But they would come down and talk to these students about, how they got started and what and then we would bring in just local entrepreneurs that started a business from scratch working
Sure.
out of their basement, a t-shirt company out of their house, out of their apartment that grew into, they got into larger spaces. And so from that, then they started having these integrated business conferences and contests. And so we continued to support that. And, Barry particularly goes and acts as a judge at those. But then one of our other tenants is to promote youth sports and recreation.
Sure. Sure.
Blaine was a sports enthusiast,
Sure.
and we always said when he came back to Garden City to our home for a dinner or anything, because he lived in Warrensburg, he always had to go to the park, Garden City Park,
Hmm.
and do a pickup game of it didn't matter whether it was basketball, football. He played with little kids. I mean, he just could draw a crowd because he loved the park so much
Hmm.
that one
Hmm.
of the first things we did after his death was Eric at the Rock and Sea. They held a fundraiser, a poker run,
Hmm.
poker tournament, excuse me, and all the money we raised from that, we put lights on the t-ball field at Garden
Sure.
City.
That's
So from
awesome.
that, we've also helped with the fencing, and then in 2023, we built 2 pickleball courts
Hmm.
for Garden City, and just a lot of things because we believe we've done just a ton of things for
That's
youth
fantastic. And
sports
you
and
do things
recreation.
with the military too.
Of
I mean,
course. And then
this.
our third tenant is just what we call lending a hand up.
Yeah.
Blaine actually, at the time of his death, had a homeless man living with him
Hmm.
that he had taken in. And to this day, we still help and we're really considered his only family.
Hmm.
He was an orphan and he's 66 years old, but he got his bachelor's degree. He's gone through and we helped him get his associate, his bachelor degree, and now he's working on his master's degree.
Wow.
So
There at
anyway,
Warrensburg.
in Warrensburg,
Yeah, it's fantastic.
and that wouldn't have happened without Blaine because
Sure.
he lended that hand up. And Steve is a veteran. And so we also focus on helping veterans
So you
in
call that your hand up?
that's lending a
Yeah,
hand up.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we
yeah.
primarily,
Go big or go home
go,
and give him a hand up.
that's right.
That's
That's
a
right.
great mottos, great mottos. Well, I tell you what, Diane, we're going to have a little bit of break here, and then we're going to come back and talk to Diane a little bit more about some of the exciting things we're doing at Ag City and working together with Sherwood High School and trying to follow her dream with helping entrepreneurs, helping young people be more successful. And we totally believe in this entrepreneur concept. And everything that you've done is just amazing, and it's inspiring to all people around, especially me. So I'm inspired and watch what you've done. And so I'm kind of coming along for the ride in Egg City, a little piece of heaven down Junction 10 7. We're all into it. So we'll be right back with some more with Diane in just one moment. We just want to have a little commercial in the middle and tell you a little bit about Egg City. But we're so happy that we have the Whitworths here with us. Diane and Barry is a family. Blaine Whitworth is their son, and they have a 501c3. And it's Go Big or Go Home, the foundation. And they do a lot of raising money. And that's what we work with them on all the things we're doing here with the schools and the education. Uh, they're just a great couple to work with, and we're so happy to have her on our podcast here today. And again, I can't say enough what they do for our communities. It's a fantastic couple, and they do it for fantastic reasons. Give all kinds of money back to communities, and they're really invested in entrepreneurship and education and bringing young people on. So we're so happy to have them here today. But again, down here in Ag City, a little piece of heaven at Junction T and 7, right here on 7 Highway on the way to Clinton, Missouri. And I do want to kind of plug a couple of other things that we do. We have this Native Prairie Research, USDA. It's kind of an exclusive deal. We have Ag City, we have Nico Seeds, and we have Big Yield, and the farms, and Still Meadows, and the Amish buildings, the little mini homes. That's all here that you can see and do. And Kurzweil's Country Meats, Cultivate, Ag Team, and then we're going to have a big event come next year here at what's called Fat Boys Guns and Grub, and so that you'll see that coming out fairly soon. And Yaya Farms, we did something with them just recently. That's phenomenal what they do there with kids and all this stuff. So we want to really give a good plug to Yaya Farms and along with Little Dixie. So we just have a lot of cool things going on here on the corner at Ag City. So on your way down, as you're going to Clinton or to the lake or coming down 7 Highway, stop by Ag City and enjoy the all the good things that we got here in rural America. And we're going to go right back with Mrs. Whitworth and talk a little bit more about what they do. Well, we're back with Diane, and we got some more exciting stuff to talk about, Diane, and some things now. We're going to bring a little more local and talk a little bit about Ag City and Little Piece of Heaven down Junction T and 7, and all the things that we're kind of reaching out as with Sherwood, our local school, and all the young people there that have opportunities and all the things that you've done and kind of the things that you started out with our classes, man. So we can just kind of dig into that Sherwood relationship now.
Sure. Well, one of the things that to me is really exciting is that we are actually, Sherwood now has its own public school foundation. It's a Sherwood Public School Foundation. We're an official 501c3.
And you just started that 2 years ago.
I think, yeah, 2 years
Second year,
ago.
yeah.
And this is going to be our third year. And we are, Tracy Sloan is the president. I'm the vice president. And so we are just trying to be able to raise money to give scholarships, again, back to students, to help teachers in their, obviously growth opportunities, things that we can help them with in their classrooms. So this is, and then I know through that, I contacted you. You became a founding member too. And so
that's how we got started.
right.
Yeah,
And then we
that's how
talked about, you started talking about internships
Yeah.
with me. And so that's took us down to Sherwood for a meeting down there. So
Well, we had a long time ago, and then we got the Ralph Fiddler. So Ralph
yes,
was one of our things. Ralph was there, worked for our company for years, and so we touched a little base there, but we're really wanting to take Sherwood, use any kind of relationships that we have. We have 14 businesses there at Ag City, and they have all kinds of needs and opportunities. So we just seen maybe that all of those young people that want to have an internship, a way that we can get them out there in the field and get them started doing business in some way, learning how to survive after high school and then on into college. So it's pretty exciting working with you and all the teachers down there at Sherwood.
absolutely. And I think that we need to, I just need to commend you on the good find that your first intern for
Yeah,
this
yeah, my
summer.
first intern, and
Yeah,
she's actually yeah, Anna Cantrell. And Anna, she's been doing all the stuff for me all summer long, and she's going off to MU, and so we're trying to figure out a way for us to keep working together, and we're trying to get an intern for Anna to work with out of Sherwood. So it's been a first crack out of the box. We hit a home run with Anna. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think there's a lot more champions down there that are available that just could start that legacy that you could, and it's just a tremendous opportunity. I'm excited for Sherwood to be able to bring, because you talk about the fact that it is a rural school out in the middle where there aren't a ton of businesses or
right,
manufacturing
right,
plants or
right.
anything for people to go to. So many of these students aren't, they may not be college bound, but they may have
Right.
an opportunity. I know we've shared your interest in
Sure.
keeping kids local
Right.
and getting them
Right.
interested in agriculture, but it's not just agriculture
No.
opportunities
Yeah.
that you
Right.
have.
Right. Well, if you look at what we see in the future, we have a shortage of blue collar workers. We have shortage of people that develop a skill set, whether it is electricians, whether it's plumbers, whether it's welders, and so everybody. out here in rural America that's grown up like your son. They're entrepreneurs. They don't like a boss. They want to have their own thing going. So whether it's they're developing their own business or learning that skill set from a business, and what we've seen a lot is here's a business that's owned by a 50-year-old or 60-year-old, and the kids are gone and they don't. And so what are they going to do with that business? Lots of times we'll see a young person come on, go to work, and all of a sudden that person that's owned that business gives them an opportunity to buy the business, take it over. And so a lot of that's going to happen, in our opinion, in this next 10 years. We have a world of need for high quality young people, and I'm a big believer in this next generation. I think they're just phenomenal. They know so much. I mean, they can do, well, I just like Anna. I go to her to do everything. Even when I have trouble with my phone, she seems to be able to fix everything. So, honestly, I think that's where we're so excited about getting to work with all these young folks and maybe making a difference. And maybe 50 years from now, somebody will say, "Hey, listen, I got started by doing this." So we
Exactly.
got a little we got a little satisfaction of helping, kind of the old concept, you plant the seed of the tree that you'll never have shade over.
Sure.
So it's something that, it's inspiring.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think we probably both, at our age, could think back of those people that mentored us.
I got a list of them.
Yep, me
Yep.
too. That
Yep.
gave me opportunities that,
Yep.
didn't have, just were meant to be and happen.
Yep.
So that's what I mean, that's the way that why we try to provide our opportunities, and we want to see other people have opportunities toward entrepreneurship, because that's what makes the world go round, and we just need more of it
Oh
locally,
yeah.
right here in our
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
rural America.
Well, and again, we're a product of our environment. I came, kind of a dinged up kid out of Kansas City as a teenager and moved down here and fell in love with agriculture. I got a list of names of people that befriended me and helped me along the way. And some of them are your relations. Some of them were kin to you as we grew up. And so all of those things, I would have never had, 4 kids, 12 grandkids, and all of my children are entrepreneurs. All of them work for themselves,
Yeah.
and some of my grandkids do, and some of my grandkids work for their parents. So to see that and see those people inspired, and now we've got 8 great grandchildren, and now you've got this whole other bunch coming along, and it's something you just sit back and you feel, maybe I didn't screw this thing up as bad as I thought I did when I was doing it. So anyway, that's kind of, I got a little off on my soapbox, and I apologize for that. But it's great to be able to work with you and Barry. Barry's been so helpful too. We got into Warrensburg, and we're talking to those folks about things and stuff. So we're really excited about Ag City and what we can bring there. We are putting the tourism thing there. We are putting the visitor center. We'll have that all done, and hopefully it's ready by the end of the year. So when we go into 2026, we got a place for people to stop. We're looking at the Accent Pet Museum, probably coming in virtual. So there's just so many things that we can get our arms around about the history, and I'm sure we're going to be right in the middle of some of your dads and your grandparents' history, because you come from the Mueller side, and I mean you were a powerful family in this area. I mean you guys did a lot of stuff, and you're carrying that on now.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
We're,
it's really
we're
good.
working hard to do that.
Well, as we wrap this thing, I apologize for getting on my soapbox, but I am proud of this community, and I do love the people in this area, and I love farmers, and I love the ag system that we have. So, is there anything we need to share with folks that's watching our podcast? Is there anything that we ought to be telling them that they really need to come down and hang out in this area and stop in all of our businesses? And
Well, I think they need to have lunch at Cultivate, because
there you go.
I think I have my once a week. I have to have my chicken bacon ranch there. I think Bryce is like, oh, she's coming in. I know what she's going to order, so I'm not. Don't seem to deviate too much. I need to get a little more exploring, but there's plenty to do in Still Meadows, and then the pizza night on Thursday night. I'll be there tomorrow night,
Yeah,
celebrating
yeah,
that and enjoying that opportunity for stone oven fired pizza,
yeah.
and
And
so
I'm not a pizza person, but the other day I went and I ate 5 different types of pizza, and I really liked it.
it was delicious.
Yeah,
I
it
went
was really.
Barry and I went and checked it out. So But we've got, so much, not, while there's not a ton, we actually, we have a new Mexican restaurant in Garden
I know.
City.
I had breakfast there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
No, no, this one is not, this is El Vidito.
Well, they're L somethings.
Yeah,
I just.
Andale Amigo has
Yeah.
breakfast.
Okay.
And we have El Vidito. I haven't been in there, but anyway, so we have two Mexican restaurants in Garden City.
Well, yeehaw. Well, hey, we're going to close this, and we want to thank you and for your time, and we really thank you as listeners to our podcast. And listen, just come down, take a trip down 7 Highway. There's lots of little ag cities scattered around, but stop by our ag city, a little piece of heaven at Junction T and 7, just about 6 miles or 5 miles from 71 Highway 49 on your way to Clinton, Missouri. Sometime come down and experience agriculture. And like Willie Nelson said, take your kids to the farm and make sure they know their food just doesn't come from a box. Thank you for joining us.